Hey, what's up YouTube? This is We All Juggle Knives, or in this case, machetes. This blade you see is the Ozark Trail Parang Machete. Now I got this on Amazon. I'll include a link if they still have it, which they might not. But I've heard you can get this at Walmart for $6.95 sometimes. Here's the sheath that it comes with. There's the belt loop. Now the sheath kind of looks like an oven mitt, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know, it's just funny. But at the low price of this thing, I'm surprised that they even gave you a sheath at all. It's going to be a little more expensive on Amazon if they still have it than it is at Walmart, but you know, they say this is made in China. Closer look at that orange handle. They say it's made in China, but I kind of think only the handle was put on in China, because the blade on this, it looks like an Imakasa blade. I think maybe the Chinese just bought like a bunch of blade blanks, because I have a lot of Imakasa machetes, and I do recognize the coating on this. This has a clear coat. It's a zinc-based clear coat. It's basically galvanized to prevent rust. And I believe the steel on this is a high carbon steel, although it could be mid carbon, but I actually think it is a high carbon because this comes with no edge whatsoever. None. Completely flat. You have to grind an edge onto this. The bush of machete testing. I just wanted to show it slashing at some soft vegetation. Right, but like I was saying, you have to grind an edge onto it, and in putting an edge onto it, I recognize this steel and the blade is very similar to the many Imakasa machetes that I own. So because of the steel and the coating, I think the Chinese did probably buy the blade blank from Imakasa, or maybe one of those other companies like Tramontina. Because I have Chinese machetes too, and none of them are like this one. You know, this resembles much more some of the Imakasas I have. So yeah, I mean, that's a good thing. Alright, now I didn't make this as sharp as I could because later in the video, I'm going to do some rougher stuff to this. So I didn't want the edge to be super duper fine, but you see my handiwork there. Yeah, so in springtime here, we have thunderstorms every other day, and like that branch, or what's left of that branch, is just some branch that fell in my yard. And yeah, you can get your yard work on with this El Cheapo machete. That's it's actually not bad for its price. I mean, you'll see later in the video, it actually holds up. It's a flexible machete. It's similar to classic Latin machetes in that it's designed to bend rather than to break or snap. And you can see how much you can flex this thing without it breaking. That's a good thing. That's a good, very good thing, especially in a cheap machete. There, I'm flexing it more. All right, stress test. I'm just going to whale this into this log. I'm not trying to cut through the log because it's not an axe. But because it is such an inexpensive machete, believe me, this is a necessary test just to make sure the blade won't like snap off and hit someone. Right? If you tried this with like, let's say a really cheap, rigid stainless steel machete, it could very well snap. But this one did not snap. It's flexible enough. Alright, you can also split a little bit with this. Oh, and those airplane noises, those are absolutely free. I will not charge you anything for those incredible airplane noises. No, just kidding. Yeah, real world here. But anyway, it's no replacement for a hatchet, obviously. But because it is so wide, like compared to a regular Latin style shape of machete, it is so wide and it's really top heavy. You know, that handle weighs nothing. So it does have a little bit of splitting ability. You might have to use like the tap method, right? Obviously be very controlled so the pieces of wood do not like fly at your head. But yeah, it can split a little bit. So final thoughts on this machete. Well, here's the big drawback. It does not come with an edge, as I said. So you're going to have some capability to actually grind your own edge onto that. Or you could take it to a hardware store or machine shop and they would do it for you. But it is actually a good machete if you can put an edge on. In fact, I'm going to include a link to the WORKSHARP. All right, because the WORKSHARP little grinder they sell, you can easily put an edge on this yourself. Now, unless you live in a jungle, you're going to use this for yard work if you're buying this. So is it a cheap and usable machete for yard work? Absolutely. And the thing is so wide, I think you could use it as a little bit of a shovel too. But the key here is that this is not going to break. You saw me wailing on that log. It's not going to snap like many a cheap stainless steel machete would. And it even has that coating. Those marks you see are on the clear coat. It even has an anti-rust coating. Useful. I think the saving grace of this is, like I said, I suspect that the Chinese actually purchased the blade from somewhere other than China, which is a good thing. So yeah, if you want to pick one of these up, I will include the Amazon link. The last time I checked, they had already sold out, so the link was like gone. But if I find the link, I'll post it. And, if they keep selling out, it's just going to be there for when they get more. But like I said, people have told me that they found this at Walmart for even less. And like I said, I'll also include the link to the WORKSHARP, because once you have a WORKSHARP, you can buy machetes that don't have an edge. Like Harbor Freight sells a machete for $6 with no edge. Once you have a WORKSHARP, you can buy all those and make your own, and it basically pays for itself. Hope you enjoyed seeing this blade. This has been We All Juggle Knives. I'm out.